Welcome to Musician Metaphysics. Buckle up, because today we're traversing the rare crossroads where genius and soul collide. My guest, Howard Mahan, is more than just a 27-year-old blues powerhouse. He's a Kansas-born phenom whose guitar could make the devil question his career choices. And don't let the six strings fool you. The man's got a law degree and a killer golf swing. We met on the cusp of the pandemic, two newcomers eyeballing the scene. Howard wasn't just a muse for Blood and Sand, he was the damn catalyst. He's got the kind of soul that makes you reconsider the existential crisis you had last Wednesday. The guy's a virtuoso, but also a damn good human being. When we jam, it's not like just music we're creating, it's a language beyond words, and it makes me thank whatever gods may be for the privilege. So get ready to have your musical paradigm shattered. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the incomparable, Howard Mahan.
I tell the story every podcast, and this will probably be the last time I do it, John Paul. But when I had John Paul on, which is literally on Spotify, the most listened to podcast of all of my podcast episodes. Don't tell him that. Dio didn't like it. But the whole time he's like, way back here doing this John Paul thing. And it was I tried hours and hours and hours to clean it up, send it off, paid to get this AI guys to fucking pull shit out of it. And it still had this chorus sound, And so I just been a little bit pissed off at John Paul, but it's not his fault. It's my fault for not getting on. But when John Paul's in the middle of a story and he's just vibing, you don't want to be like, hey, wait a second, man, So what's up, everybody? I got the one, the only Howard Mahan. No, Mahan. Yeah. Welcome to the podcast, man. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. What have you been up to, dude?
Lots of stuff. Been playing a lot of shows. Put out an album earlier this year. It's been just kind of constant since.
Yeah. And you work full time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And I don't want
everything since 2020 is this big ball of no time really has existed. So
yeah, no, I hear you, dude. Man, when you're moving, time flies, dude. I'm when you're on a deployment or something like that, when you're constantly, it's like what? How many? Or life in general nowadays. Yeah. Dio really loves Howard, man. It was like. You see the eyes. He just has to stare at him. He is pretty. I mean, it's the hair and the guitar playing has nothing to do with it.
I even took
yeah.
So.
Hey, what'd you play last night?
I did the Hideout with Sean.
Nice. Oh, right on, man.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's kind of cool because
it's great. He's great, man.
He's great.
Yeah.
The Sean McDonald band really came out because we were doing Dust Devil Choir, and a couple of those guys moved away, and then Jan passed away.
Of course, yeah.
Sean just kind of had Stonecutters. There were all these non-Stonecutters good songs.
Yeah.
So instead of
gotta fucking do them, man.
Well, instead of trying to force Dust Devil to be something that it really wasn't.
Right. Just like I was saying a minute ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally get it, dude. I mean, shit, man. I don't know if a lot of people might not know this, but Sean's the reason I really started to really play slide. I went to Knuckleheads one Sunday. It was when I was going on Saturdays a lot, kind of the beginning of my shit. And it was the day that I had convinced myself, man, I'm gonna play slide in front of people today.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
It's so easy to say.
Oh yeah, dude, it's super easy. And I'm walking up the door and I just hear somebody is just fucking shred. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Somebody in there playing the slide like that?
Yeah.
And I went in there and I was one of the first videos I took of him, and I was like, God damn. And that day I told him, I said, the story, I just said, man, I was going to come here. I had my slide all in my pocket. I was like, I'm really going to play some slide for people today. And I saw you playing. I was like, fuck that. And he goes, oh, the world needs more slide, man.
I mean, it does.
Hell yeah. I wish every guitar player, dude, it's it helps you. It not only helps you to become have better touch when you're playing regularly.
Oh yeah.
It really just, it's one of those things that is so not used by good guitar players that when another good guitar player is somewhere and then he rips out a slide and is good on that, it's like a whole nother. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
this, because you got to put some time in it, man.
Yeah, and I mean, it's got to be. I've always been really.
Yeah, who am I talking
fascinated
to, dude?
Well, no, I've been really fascinated by the idea of, how slide fits, because like if you're playing in a trio, you can't just like whip out
It's
Dwayne Allman. Like it's a total
No, yeah,
like, and it's the
you
same
can
way.
though. You
I mean,
can. I've seen you do it.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta like set it up right
Yeah.
to be able to play that kind of slide, and then there's the kind of the more delta stuff that's fatter and
Yeah.
like to
For
be
the-
able to.
This is what you use the baritone for. You ever do any
Sometimes, yeah.
delta on the baritone?
Yeah, we got the baritone's fun. I haven't.
I love it when you play that thing, man.
It sounds mean,
It does, like growl, man. Like
Yeah.
fucking dirty. Yeah.
but like you gotta set it up right, because it's so easy. Like even if you're to play stuff, like the sort of lines that like Derek Trucks would play in Tedeschi.
That's who I sound like.
That's who we all.
Well, dude, that's right. That's what it says. Derek Trucks on my slide, man. I mean,
Dude, are those not the best slides?
they are though.
Like,
yes,
I don't.
it's my favorite slide.
But
Derek,
it's the only-
send me a check, please.
it's the only one that like actually fits your finger.
Yep,
Like,
and
the weight's right.
yeah,
and
well, it's a Derek Trucks slide. I mean, you would hope, right?
you
that it
would
would.
hope, yeah.
Yeah, because I bought slides like
I got a graveyard.
Aerosmith slide one
Yeah.
time. I thought Joe Perry, man, it's probably gonna be good, but you never know what kind of slide or what style of slide. Because there's lots of different.
There's a lot of difference.
Yeah, I've never been one of those heavy, thick. Well, a little bit for some certain things. Like I did. I don't know if you heard of the instrumental I did. It's actually the theme song for this podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Well Done, and I recorded it down there with Dwayne, and I was so psyched because I was gonna be able to tell Brandon I did it in one take. But Brandon's a one take king, So at the end of my slide part, it's like I slide it up, and then I was gonna set my slide down, and my slide fell off because it was a ceramic, and you can hear it shatter on the floor in there.
Yeah.
But we left it in.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to I don't know. I loved it, man. It was like,
Ceramic ones, I think, probably actually sound best.
yeah,
But I mean,
on acoustic stuff. I love them on acoustic stuff.
I mean, it's a thicker sound. But it's still got the sort of point on it that a glass does.
When did let's get into how you got into playing, man. I'm sure not everybody knows these stories.
Yeah. So I mean, my first memory in life is watching the Austin City Limits. Stevie Ray
Your
Vaughan.
first memory in life.
Dude, so like
That's so awesome,
yeah,
man.
it's like we had this like old, it probably ran Windows 95 or
Yeah,
something.
sure.
Or 98.
That was like state of the art for me in 1995, man.
Yeah, state of the art for everybody. Yeah, I mean, I was just like completely mesmerized by just watching that. So I always really wanted to do that. And
Why? What do you think? You wanted to play guitar.
I mean, I loved that sound. I loved the whole thing about it. Like I was attracted to
Who was it that
it.
was playing?
It was the Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Okay,
yeah,
that's right.
and it was just like that is before I knew.
He shredded on that too, man.
Yeah, I mean it's the one where there's like the 1983.
Yep.
And then it skips to 89. And
Yeah.
I mean he's just burning on both of them, and it's.
Is that the one where? Because I remember early in his career he would sweat so bad because he was so coked up.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
it shows kind of both.
Both, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
and
live at El Macombo, man.
oh, God.
Dude, that dude is like.
Well, I mean, besides the cocaine, like you got to think like it's really rare to see somebody play guitar like that.
Right, dude. I know. I sweat
Yeah.
too. I mean,
Yeah,
I
and
understand
then
it.
you've got the stage lights.
Sure.
It's inside.
Sure.
It's tiny and it's packed.
But I also do know I sweat a lot more. I guess I've tried it before. He's
Yeah.
never done that, anything like that.
I have not been in a position where that has seemed like a good idea.
It's not.
Yeah.
I've
I've never heard anybody like.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't lie to
I've
you.
seen people have a good time, but it's never like somebody started doing cocaine in their life and suddenly got better.
No.
So
Usually that's not how it works.
usually it's the opposite.
Yes,
So
yeah.
if I'm not really
Or-
into that,
Or you get so delusional that you think you're getting better, or that you're playing something that is so amazing, but it's really like not.
I may have witnessed some of that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, wow,
Yeah,
that's cool. But it's kind of like being a little more drunk than maybe you should. You think
exactly.
that,
Same thing.
you know,
You bet,
you think
dude.
that playing the thing is the coolest thing ever, and you listen back.
Yes.
That's why I kind of stopped drinking heavily at any shows. I did
That's
a
kind of why I
birthday show.
had to stop drinking.
Well, I mean,
Period.
yeah, like drinking and playing is fun, and do it on your own time.
I'll actually be the first to admit that I actually pissed Howard off one time because I drank way too much at one of the shows that he invited me to play with him. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that, but
You know,
it was one of those. No, but it was one of those moments for
Yeah.
me that I was like, because I was like so honored that you'd even ask me to come do that, and then so for me it was one of those things where like, okay, I got,
you know.
it's.
I mean, I there's a video floating out somewhere. I think it's on Facebook from a long time ago, but it was like my 22nd birthday party, and we were doing a dive bar, and the band
You're
that I
having
was
fun.
in, the concept was
Yeah.
get free shots and free beer and go play and have a good time.
Yeah.
I think I played like a 9-minute long solo in the middle of the wait, and thinking it was like the most inspired thing ever, and then I saw somebody send me a clip of it, and it was not good.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't even remember doing that.
But you need those. You kind of need those in your life to
Yeah,
realize.
it's a learning experience for sure.
Well, man. So your first memory is Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he is literally like my first nickname for him. Well, not really a nickname, but it's like a walking Stevie Ray Vaughan clinic. And
Yeah, I mean, I went through a phase. Very, I think people try to run away. From
sure,
it.
you try to emulate who you love
but
too.
I went through a phase because that's the reason that I wanted to play guitar, and
Sure.
I still could play pretty much any of those solos or
Yeah,
any of
dude,
those.
I know
songs.
you get.
Like that is how I learned guitar for the first 4 or 5 years.
He can also play Neon.
It's been a minute. That was so cool, and I was like,
That's
"Screw
how-
you, John Mayer." That's
Well,
not
yeah,
that hard,
the only
man."
reason he can do it is because that damn thumb of his.
It's not that hard. He just likes to say that.
Dude, you know how much I love John Mayer.
Yeah.
If I could play Neon, I'd be playing it.
You can play neon.
Yeah, I know.
believe in you.
It would take me. I don't know.
It takes a minute to figure out the pattern.
Yeah,
But
and the singing
the
and
reach
doing
isn't
it
that
is hard too, though. For me,
Oh yeah.
it can be hard unless I'm not singing the same riff that I'm playing. Kind of, if I'm gonna do like a
Yeah.
riff on,
John Mayer and Josh Homme from Queens of Stone Age. Those guys can like do stuff on guitar.
Dave Matthews as well, man. He was one of those guys.
While singing that they should not be like those.
Yeah,
things-
off rhythm of what they're playing.
It's not even like there's a pocket
Yeah,
to it. It's just
weird.
like they're doing stuff that does not line up at all.
That's why they make the big bucks.
It's cool. One day.
It
One-
is,
That's
dude.
that's something that I try to work on too. Is like trying to separate those at the same time. And
Yeah,
it's
man.
kind of fun.
You've just got, all I've seen you do is get better, man. So
Hopefully.
yeah,
Played a lot.
well, jeez.
Worked at it.
That's how you. I mean, dude. I of all when did we first meet? I think the first time we met was at the
Knuckleheads.
Hideout. Oh no, did we meet at Knuckleheads first?
Yeah, we met at Knuckleheads first, and then
I was
think
probably
we met-
drunk and didn't
We
remember.
met again because I showed up with Landon then.
Okay, yeah.
that-
Oh
it
yeah,
was probably like
yeah.
a year later that
Right,
we
right.
officially met.
Yeah, right on, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember, man.
Yeah.
I remember because Landon was yelling at me. I guess I don't know if I was playing okay or something that day, and then but I remember I was pretty
I think
hammered.
you guys were both partying pretty hard.
Yeah,
Went down to the firehouse after.
I love that guy, man.
Yeah.
He was friends, man. It's just like
It's tough. We've lost a lot of people
yeah,
over the last few years.
no shit, dude. A lot of people, man.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like the 6 degrees of separation is actually like all around you kind of thing. I mean, in a different way. It's with death, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's, man, when I came back from Afghanistan, I had like, it was, we all made it. And then it was death for like, my family, my friends, you know, it's one of the hardest things to come out of ever, man. And I still struggle with it. And, life is hard, dude.
yeah.
It ain't no joke, and I think that's kind of why we play music. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite songs.
Oh, that's
Cause dude, I'm a fan too, man. Like you write some good shit, dude.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and it, uh, it's the one about where you guys are splitting up, going your separate ways. The next day she's going, and the next day you're going.
Yeah, like different this time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
different this time, dude. That is one of my favorite songs, dude. You
yeah,
know, that's why I keep it on the Kansas City flavor playlist, man. It's one of my favorite ones, and you write good shit,
yeah.
dude.
That song's real. It's
Yeah,
you know.
and that's kind of what was saying about when I did that little tribute video for Donnie from the jam last night or last Sunday. Dio, God, he loves you. It was love and loss, man.
Yeah,
That's like the two things everybody can relate to.
absolutely.
And I know if I wasn't playing music, I probably wouldn't be here. Like
Yeah.
yeah. So you when did you pick up your guitar, first guitar?
I had like kind of a toy guitar for a minute, but uh, about 9, I got the first one.
9.
Yeah.
What was it? Do you remember? Do you remember what it
Um.
Dio.
So there was maybe one
Dio.
floating around before that that was like a 3/4 like Fender acoustic, but uh, it was I can't remember which one came first. So it was like the pack of like the Epiphone Special 2
Yeah.
starter pack. It's just guitars that play great.
Yeah.
Like
Dude, I love
you,
Epiphones. I got an Epiphone, I got an
yeah,
SG Pro, and
yeah,
I love it.
and then right around the same time, it was like the Squire Mini.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Like the Bullet, like the Fender
yeah,
Bullet kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. So it's like
Those are cool little
it's like the
guitars too.
3/4 scale
Yeah.
Stratocaster, and those showed up right around the same time.
Right on.
Played on those for a while and kind of learned on those.
So you were doing shows and stuff in your school, like growing up? And you're always the guy that played guitar?
Sort of. I mean, Fredonia High School, it's not uncool, but it wasn't really cool to be the
Yeah.
guy that played
Well,
guitar.
you're really smart too. So you were like kind of this. Did you get good grade? I know you got
Yeah,
good grades. Dude.
yeah. I mean, that was expected, but not in any sort of.
Why
Not
was it
badly,
expected?
but, we're just grew up to like think that you know if you-
Education is important.
well, education's important, and like trying
Do your
hard,
best, right?
doing the best that
Yeah.
you can for the situation is the right thing to do.
It is.
So
For damn sure it is the right thing to do. That's why I love Aiden so much that he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke,
Yeah.
and he's on. Dude, the kid's gonna be just fine.
yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah,
So I grew up doing like family band stuff because my mom and dad, my dad played drums, my mom played piano.
Really cool parents too.
Yeah, and so we'd go around, and it was all small town, sort of southeast Kansas, homecoming festivals or Flag Day festivals,
Yeah.
opening slots at the VFW.
So were they backing you up, or how?
Yeah.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
man. So first gig we ever played wasn't even I was supposed to go sit in with my guitar teacher's band in a bar called My Place in Cherryville, and for whatever reason, half the band didn't show up, and my mom and dad were there. So
They're
we
like, we
got up-
got you.
but yeah, we got up and we did like 45 minutes of stuff that I've been working on, guitar lessons, and my guitar teacher played bass, and we were like, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible, but
Oh, that's awesome, dude. You're giving me chills, man. Because
Yeah.
that's like. I mean, you can't ask for a better way to grow, man.
No,
props to your parents, dude.
Yeah,
For real, man.
for sure.
That's like wow.
for sure. Because I mean, that's like not only you're doing it, but you're doing it kind of in a safe, controlled sort of way, but at the same time you're doing
Supporting the
it
fuck out of you.
yeah, and you're getting like actual playtime in front of people while you're learning,
Which is really important, man.
yeah,
Because, dude, that way, I bet you, by the time you were like your first real big gig, you didn't have any problem playing in front of people.
no, it was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've done this.
No,
before.
I hope that doesn't bother
No,
you.
I don't care.
Sorry.
It was really fun because but it was always like the extent of it was you go get $300 to go do this thing for the city, and
That you love.
yeah, and it's awesome, and like there was never any thought that like the idea, like the whole concept of what exists in Kansas City where there's open jams and like gigs on a Wednesday, like that didn't exist.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it
yeah. I
was-
remember. No,
like
it did not exist.
that was not a thing, that
No.
was not tangible, that was not
Yeah.
real. So this the whole thing was not real. Like, so we're kind of a little bit in a bubble, but
It was real for you, man. I mean, like growing up and doing it, right?
growing up doing it, but the idea that like there was some level of
Oh, that you could actually have a
do it.
living doing
Yeah.
it. Okay, I
Well,
got you.
And you could have a living doing it, and that you could like play, you know,
Full time kind of thing.
more than once a month.
Right.
know.
Which is like that's perfect for me, man.
But you know, the idea that like that's out there
Yeah.
did not exist to me until a lot later.
How long? Like, because I wanted to know what your decision making was when you
Yeah.
like, because when I turned 18, I went straight to like I'm playing. Well, because I played and sing, man, and
Yeah.
I had this guy that was it's really I really got screwed. You know, drove across the country, I recorded these freaking tracks, and you know, I'm 18. I'm like, oh, this is good, you know, and I just get annihilated, and
Yeah.
you know, and then it's the story's kind of that from there, you know, and so how you probably were like valedictorian. Were you really?
One of four.
Oh, hey, man,
But-
that's still.
Yeah.
So I kind of figured that's a great guess. So
Yeah.
so you were like you had scholarships, I imagine.
Well, sort of. Had some local scholarships, but I also at the same time, like I parallel to all of that in high school, I was working at a golf course and playing golf all the time.
Oh man, I did.
And I had a really strong mentor who had been like on many tours, and he had come back
Really?
to do some family stuff because he had family in the area.
And you're talking about golf tour, or
Yeah.
you talking
Golf
damn.
tour. Yeah, he was very, very good, and he was kind of in his at that point he was kind of in his 50s, and he'd been like a club pro and a teaching pro, but came back to take care of some family that had been sick. So he serendipitously started running the golf course in Fredonia, which is a 9-hole sort of public course, and it's,
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I learned on.
yeah. And so you know, I was
Not there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. He kind of was a mentor and gave me some golf lessons, and
Don't tell me you're really good at golf, dude.
at one point I haven't played in a minute, but at one point I was all right.
Right on, golf's fun.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So he, you know, the idea of college golf was a real avenue where
That's cool,
there was
man.
no, you know, music was fun and a thing that you
Right.
can do.
Got you chicks.
Not really. It wasn't cool, man. Like, it was just what I wanted to do. You know?
Yeah, I got you.
But so the idea of college golf was a real avenue that could exist, and he kind of helped me out. So wound up playing at a junior college for a year.
Cool.
And they shut that program down because the junior college was going to be featured on a Netflix series. Like, do you remember Last Chance U? I think.
Yes, I do.
So it was going to be featured. Independence Community College was going to be featured on Last Chance U. So they shut the golf program down because they wanted to funnel all the new money into building a new stadium
To make it look
to make
nicer.
it look better for Netflix.
Oh my god.
As a recruiting thing. So I was recruited Kansas Wesleyan University in Salina because they basically tried to.
So you had to be pretty good. You're getting recruited.
It was all right, but I didn't suck.
Yeah.
You know,
Obviously.
I wasn't gonna go D1 ever, but
Right.
I could do okay.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So, got recruited to do that and wound up going to Salina because again, music wasn't like a viable sort of career thing. So it was, you know, go get a business degree and
Right.
best case scenario, maybe open a music shop somewhere and play golf. And
Yeah.
through the course of all of that, we're playing golf. And
How old are you? Like 19, 20?
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe 18, 19.
Okay.
At that point. So went to Kansas Wesleyan. Our golf coach got sick, and it had been set up that I was doing academically well enough and golf, like qualifying to go to tournaments, and so it was set up that I'd be the graduate assistant coach after I graduated.
Uh-huh.
So the cool part about small town Kansas, I don't know if it really relates. It's like you can get a bunch of dual credit in high school.
Oh,
through
that's cool.
junior colleges. So I had basically, by the time I was done with college or done with senior year of high school, I had almost a year's worth of college credits.
Nice.
Uh,
Little
so-
head start.
yeah, so it was a head start. So then JUCO had the college credits for that year. So it was basically 2 years in, 1 year in.
Nice.
So then took a heavy course load and was able to graduate from 2 years in at Wesleyan, because
Nice.
part of their recruiting is they just accepted your
Right. Yeah.
JUCO
Gotcha.
credits.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so was able to graduate in 2 years. So then they kept me on for another 2 years to be the graduate assistant golf coach and kind of do all the business stuff for the golf team. And
Cool.
yeah,
And then that's kind of a hard, like, to go go for a lawyer. That's a bit of a hard turn. Where did that?
Sort of. I mean, it was kind of a natural progression, because even in Salina, like after I graduated undergrad, which was 2016,
What did you major in?
business management.
Okay.
With a music minor, did like the jazz band
Cool,
program.
cool.
And that was one of the reasons I went to that school. Is like everywhere else that I went to, like I auditioned to try to do any sort of guitar program at a few different schools and never got in. Never.
Really?
Yeah, because I couldn't sight read very well.
Right.
And
Right.
like I could learn all the audition pieces they wanted,
Sure.
but like they were gonna have to teach me how to learn charts, and so I went to Wesleyan, and
Which you would have picked up probably so fast.
well, yeah, but nobody was gonna give me a chance to do it.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah, so
Their loss, man.
Wesleyan gave me a chance to do it, and wound up at the same time I was doing the golf. I was playing like all the musical pits, because
Really?
there was one guitar student at Kansas Wesleyan, and it was me.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well, at least you had some workload, I guess.
no, it was great, because it was like a crash course in reading charts and
Yeah.
chord theory.
More experience.
Absolutely. And
yeah,
and they
dude.
gave me the chance to actually do it. And so, but still, like the music, we put a band together, and that was the band that I was talking about, where like we were hanging out in the garage and like drinking beer. And,
Yeah.
like it was fun.
Right.
And,
Right. Right.
you know, we'd go down.
So this is not too long ago. 5 years ago
uh,
now, something like that.
like 8.
6. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you were talking about the band that you were talking about your 22nd birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that band that started kind of when I was like 20, 21.
Okay, gotcha.
Lasted for 3.5 years, maybe.
Right on, man. And
We were playing like dive bars and places in Salina and like breweries out in central Kansas.
and that's where Randy found you?
Randy McAllister.
Yeah, yeah.
He found me at the Knuckleheads Jam.
Oh, okay.
When he came up with drummer. So that it still wasn't really like a viable sort of career thing. It was just
Right.
like, we can do this and
Make
it'll
some
be
money,
fun
have some
and
fun.
make some
Yeah.
money and play on the weekends.
Yeah,
A few times a month. And
totally.
yeah. So all of that was leading up to, I had an advisor in college who had been through law school. And the only like cool class that I really took from the business perspective was, I don't say the only cool class, because I had a couple other ones, but the one that was really interesting, made the most sense, was like the business law
Right.
class. So I talked to him about, should
Why
I go to law
did that make more sense to you? Just
Uh,
more interesting?
Yeah,
the
just
law?
the way of thinking. Like it wasn't, finances.
What are your thoughts on current business law? You know,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I'm just.
everything's flexible, because everything's run by people.
Yep, I know. And
Everything's
if
made
you
up,
had the more
so-
money you have, usually the bit more stuff you can get done. We don't have to get into
Well,
politics.
yeah. So, but anyway, I had an advisor that we talked about it. It seemed like a good idea, and like I can do something business related.
Yeah, no, man,
legally,
that's and make a ton.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
I was
good
like,
job.
You can make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
let's go do it. Like,
Yeah,
um,
I get it.
yeah. So wound up going to law school at KU, and was kind of on that track for a while. Pandemic happened.
Yeah,
Everybody,
that's right. When we met, it was
Yeah.
just before the pandemic.
So I, then we really kind of found out about like this open jam thing.
Right.
Yeah. So started meeting some people, and pandemic happened and Jack and Adam were bored, and we're like, we'll write some songs, we'll do something.
Yeah. Dude, you actually inspired me to go do mine because I would come in there and then
That's awesome.
and then you hung out with me on mine. Remember?
Yeah,
that was all during the pandemic.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That was fun, man.
Yeah, dude. I still I forget the titles of my own songs. See, don't worry about it. Blood and Sand, man. He does some of the most cool picking stuff, and it's like I was that recording when I was watching you. But I was like, I gotta freaking, because I was always scared of the lower end of the neck for some reason.
Yeah.
Just the stupid little runs down here. But for some reason, my mind wouldn't do it because for so long I'd just been this chord person playing, singing, and I can do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open strings are always scary too.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah.
There's you can't fix it.
Nope.
It's an open string. You can't bend it back into tune. You can't.
Now, a cool thing that I like about you too is now I think I'm right about this. I don't know, but is you play standard on the slide, don't you?
I've worked to get kind of up there.
I already thought you did.
Well, I can't.
Oh man, I just lost.
I like open E a lot better. That's
I hear
where
you.
all the stuff that I really like lives.
The only reason I chose standard to learn that way was because I thought it was like the smartest thing for me to do because I don't play an open a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I might as well just, and I already know runs and I can make, I get this to work.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I did. Plus it's way tougher, way cooler.
I hate open G with passion.
Don't tell Jack that.
I know. Open G does not make sense to me at all. I mean, I understand like standard is closer to open G than open E is.
Yeah.
Like I've worked to kind of learn to revoice some chords in open E. So
what do you think about 432? Yeah.
Tune to whatever you want.
Yeah.
I like E flat.
That's about what the reaction I got from Dwayne when I was working on my last record, and I was like, "Hey man, do you think we could master this in 432?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I've done that." He's so great, man.
Yeah.
Weights and measures. If you record anything anywhere, do it there. It's cheap. No, it's not cheap. It's very reasonably priced.
Very reasonably priced.
Yes, and you're not waiting on Dwayne.
And he's got all the resources.
Yeah, and I call him Gandalf because that dude is like, he's a magician.
Yeah. He's so easy to work with.
Yeah, so easy to work with. But it's funny, I can always tell when maybe something he's getting, I'll be like, "Hey man, you want to hit the bend?" Once in a while I'll get him.
Yeah.
But he's great. He's a great dude. Great place to record. He's constantly like upgrading his stuff. Like he has some of the best gear. He has the best gear, actually.
Yeah, he builds his own rack units and
excellent
microphones.
Excellent. And
amplifiers.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a place to do it. Sorry, I just have to plug. I had to plug Dwayne in.
Let's plug Dwayne. Yeah. Go to Weights and Measures.
I keep trying to
don't book up all his studio time. The rest of us went in there too.
I keep trying to get him to do a podcast, and he's like, "Dude, I don't have the time." And I'm like, "Well, good, man, because well, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to get him in trouble." So, where are you living at now, man? You're over.
I'm in Lawrence.
You're in Lawrence.
Yeah,
okay.
I've been in Lawrence, and
that's what I thought.
Lawrence.
I know you for a while. Didn't you play in Salina a lot?
I lived so that's where Kansas Western is.
Okay.
So lived out there for about 5 years.
That's a good drive from here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then there's nothing
from where we're at. It's about 3 hours.
It's just nothing, as far as you can see.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with that patch of
We're in Delaware. You probably Wayne's World was not one of your movies. It was.
Yeah.
Okay. Mukulaka Miki, come on, you want? All right. So it is called Musician Metaphysics. So I got to ask you a little bit of it. Like,
yeah.
Are you a spiritual person at all, man? Do you find any comfort in any kind of? I'm
not. I wouldn't say that I'm particularly tied to any one thing, but I would like to believe that I'm not so naive to think that we're the biggest.
We're it.
baddest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
right.
even if we are, I think there's the idea of the fact that we're floating on a giant rock, and
Sure.
we have
Like in
an
a
atmosphere.
galaxy or in a universe with trillions of galaxies.
Yeah, and there's like an atmosphere, and the world like works in this
Somehow
crazy-
it stays.
yeah, and like that alone is like cool enough to be like.
So you might, I don't know
Even if
how.
you don't ask why, you got to appreciate the fact that.
I don't know if you get to read a lot lately, but you should start checking out quantum gravity research. And it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Because to me, it's starting to make the most sense. Like, and at first, when I've told people this, it's like, well, then there's no meaning to life. No, that's the whole thing. That's a whole meaning. The whole meaning of life is meaning. You know what I mean? But it's like we're in this self-simulation from, I don't know if you've ever heard this theory.
Oh, like simulation theory?
Yeah. But that
go on Elon Musk on it.
Well, dude, if you start looking at think about quantum, just mass on a quantum level, little quarks and freaking, all the particles that they're smashing together.
Sure.
What do you do for a living? I'm smashing particles.
Trying to get things you can't possibly see up to the speed of light.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember who I was telling, but it's like if I lived around that Hadron Collider and I was like had a girlfriend, be like everything. I would blame everything on that Hadron Collider. What's wrong with you, babe? I don't know. It's that Hadron Collider, man. Anyway, but it's like they're starting to find out. Like, okay, the whole observer problem in physics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you know the problem? Like if you observe the spin or if you observe a photon of light, it reacts differently than if you didn't observe it, if it doesn't know it's observed.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, wasn't Roger Penrose, that I can't remember who did the first experiment, but it's really fascinating because it proves that it's like they're coming to this lots of physicists, lots of that consciousness is actually like what reality is, and consciousness has a role to play in everything, basically.
Okay.
So like the experiment is like if you take I'm gonna fuck this up.
Oh, I think I might know
the double slit experiment. You can look it up, you can Google it or whatever. But like you'll shoot, like you got two slits and you're shooting tennis balls or whatever. You'd think you'd have like two slits, right? But you end up with like this wave. Like how the fuck? You put one slit, it's either backwards or anyway. It's the same kind of thing. But like even they've set up experiments to where, have you ever heard of like Schrodinger's cat?
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. The cat is either dead or
it's both dead.
It's both. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. And how particles get entangled. Like you can affect particle over here, and one could be other end of the universe.
And it
can, yeah. It's called observable spin. Once you start observing it, like it changes.
Yeah.
Like even to the point of like to a position that it was 20 minutes ago. So like it's kind of like they've done like 2-minute time travel kind of shit with that. And it's really, really interesting.
Cool.
But it kind of gives to this thing that like, I don't know if you're probably real good at math. Like if you're like E8 lattice algebra.
That's not, I try to avoid math.
Okay, I do too, dude. I do too, until I started reading up about this stuff, because I read up on, that's my interest, obviously, because that's why I got a master's degree in theology.
Yeah.
Now, I never thought that the trajectory of my life would change so far that instead of using it to prove, I'm now using it to disprove certain things, because some religion basically is a form of control. Now, I know that religion does lots. People find comfort in that, and I'm trying not to bash all religion. I'm not trying to do that, but I will bash the horrible stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, God, it's like
that's where people get involved.
Yeah. That's
I think there's good and bad people involved in pretty much every.
Yeah, there are, and that's kind of the duality of the universe, right? You can't positive, negative.
Yeah.
It's kind of like good, evil. And that kind of it's just like okay, there's something going on, right? And I've had experiences meditating that it's like there's something I'm connecting to something, you know what I mean? But it's not Yahweh. You know what I mean? It's not the dude from it might be a consciousness that's connected to that at some point in time, but there's just too many and the dating of the world. It's like you guys got to read your books. Just read your books. Like, please, if you believe in a certain religion, read the book. So you know what it says. You know what I mean? It's like Jesus murdered or Jesus God murders hundreds and thousands of people in the Bible. And no, he doesn't. What are you talking about? Okay, please read your book. You know what I mean? It's like, anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go on. That was my one rant, but
Yeah, everybody gets a rant.
yeah.
I mean, I think the positive side of any of that is the community aspect and the fact that
Yes,
in at least
100%.
at the core of it, like there's different ways of going about it, but it's
Sure.
basically
Yes.
don't be a dick.
Yeah. Jesus said, "Don't be an asshole."
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like
Yeah.
it depends how you want to interpret that, how you go about it. But
And a lot of them will make the argument that you're going to be an immoral person if you don't have that. But I think actually that's kind of built into being a human is we're always fighting the survival aspect that's evolved into our biology,
yeah,
but we're generally kind people. Most people are generally good. That's the way I believe.
yeah,
It's just you're always going to have an assholes. Assholes are going to be here forever. Well, maybe not forever.
Well, that and like everybody, I think has their.
Everybody goes through shit too.
Yeah, everybody
has their.
moments of-
Just like that night, I kind of got a little out of hand at Howard Mahan concert. Yeah, it was. Man, I don't know, dude. Well, I'm gonna let you talk. I'm asking about your opinion. I'm sorry. No, like, so you feel like there's got to be maybe something.
Yeah, I mean,
You feel it in your music, like you have those kind of feelings that, man, there's something more even connected to this when you're playing sometimes.
well, so it's it's like I don't even know how to quantify it, and I really don't try that often to quantify it, but I know that
I get that.
you know there's music out there that'll like make me cry for no reason.
Yeah, dude, totally,
and
100%.
and that's that's real.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
something's in the ether.
It's absolutely real.
Yeah.
So the fact that however or why ever
Who gives a
Al-
shit, right?
Dwayne Allman can say it's hitting the note or whatever, right?
Yeah,
But it can get you to like it's valuable. It means something.
100%. Yeah,
You know.
I know exactly what you mean, dude. Yeah, there's chills again, man.
Yeah.
The Recog, whenever we were having ours, he's like, "Man, that's your confirmation, bro. Your brother."
Yeah.
It's like I'll take that. Yeah.
I think that's when it comes to like you're trying to break down genre or you're trying to say what there's the stuff that you can connect with
Sure.
and the stuff that really resonates with you and
Yeah.
like that's important.
And
then there's a bunch of stuff that doesn't, and maybe that has a different place or whatever.
Yeah.
But
sure, I think usually there's those certain songs, those certain moments that I have always strived for in music, and they come around very, very rarely when everybody's synced up and everybody's
Yeah.
in that flow, and you don't even have to look at each other, and it just goes, and
Yeah.
you get that. I mean, those are some of the best feelings I've ever had in my life.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, however that's connected to consciousness and like, because a lot of times when that happens, like it hits a lot of people at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. And I think right now what's happening in the world is there's a huge awakening to a lot of the bullshit. Like and
Yeah.
like wait a second. Wait, a lot of people are going, "Well, wait a minute. Maybe we need, if we could just come down." And it's hard. The ego, man, it's there for a reason, but it will get in the way of a lot of things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's good to have an ego, but not one that's like Quincy Jones. I quote it this all the time. Insecurity is just ego dressed up. you know, and that's damn straight. That's true. We just need to try to love people, man. And that's what I've been trying to do for,
Yeah.
especially since I quit drinking, man. I can't tell my entire life has changed. Like I've had the most productive 2 years of my life.
Nice. That's good. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
You know, if you're a musician, or you're around it all the time, you kind of see people get
Yep.
lost in it.
Yeah, dude,
Like
I was lost in it for a while.
I mean, it's not just a musician. Like
No,
it happens everywhere. But
Yep, happens to everybody.
it's very visible.
Sure.
And so it's important that there's some people who don't really have that relationship with it, but some people do, and
Yeah.
it's important that if it starts to become a problem, that
Yeah,
you
to just, and I just,
check it.
as long loving people, some people are never gonna snap out of it, man. It's just, I don't know if it's in any kind of cards or whatever it is. I think most of it is just sometimes people just don't want to choose to do the hard thing, and quitting that kind of stuff can be really hard, man. Like it's like, certain thought patterns in your, like literally carve little grooves in your brain, and when you're, it's so easy to just go back down to that store and grab a bottle, it's just like muscle memory.
Yeah.
So, I know it's difficult, but you can do it anyway.
I mean,
If you need to.
if you need to,
Yeah.
that's that it's important that people take care of themselves.
Fuck yeah, man. And like, and it's important to have friends that you listen to,
Absolutely.
like Jack, dude. That dude's, and I know he's a good friend because he's never told anybody any of the shit he sees. You know what I mean?
He's a good dude.
He's good people. I always tell him to watch or listen to this podcast, and I always know he doesn't because he never is like, wait a minute, what'd you say? No, I'm just fucking with you, Jack. Well, I know that he can't say anything about who he likes, but I like Vivek. That dude's a badass, man. Yeah. No, I
let people do what they want and make sure they're okay.
Yeah, man. Geez, like, be in touch with the people that you're governing. That's one of my big deals. Anyway,
Yeah.
it all boils down to they're just symptoms of problems of the heart, basically. I think, and or maybe there is this.
Well, I think it's probably there's probably a lot of people. There's definitely a lot of people in government who are good people, and
but they're part of the big machine.
Well, even with the big machine, like the machine's structurally, in theory, set up to represent society, but there's just a lot of questions when it comes to.
What do you think about the UFOs, man?
UFOs are cool.
I mean, yeah, dude.
I mean, there's just a lot of questions from a societal standpoint that don't really have answers.
Right. Well, because
they'll always be.
They're not transparent, though. I don't think.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think being someone tasked with the idea of governing a large body of people is an impossible challenge.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So,
I don't expect anybody to be perfect. No way.
No,
That's impossible.
And there are questions, I think, from a societal standpoint that don't have answers.
Right.
They'll never have answers.
Right. There's kind of a whole, like, you see the polls of like how the importance of faith is dropping, church attendance is dropping, all these things are dropping. And so instead of that, most of the younger generation, it seems, is they're filling that with climate change, like get attached to that movement, and they get real into that, or they get attached to some other thing, and I think that that's what has kind of brought so much toxicity, is because they're trying to fill this, maybe this thing that is a legit thing, that you have this, I know in my life, I'm always like, ever since I was real young, it was like, I want to do something big. I want to be a part of something big. I want to change people's lives, kind of thing, and I never thought it was going to turn out the way it did, but I'm 100% glad and wouldn't change any of it.
Yeah.
Because it's made me who I am now. Now, there might be another Fletcher in a different universe that's like,
or another simulation.
Yeah. Hey, dude, well, you think about it. You have a simulation, the first simulation, and then in that simulation, this guy's like, I'm going to invent a computer. And then it progresses. Oh, I'm gonna make a simulation. So you got this simulation and simulation and simulation. So like Elon Musk, he said, I think we have a 1 in a billion chance of being in the base reality. That's what he said. Dude, I will not apologize for liking Elon Musk. Dude, the guy's trying to save humanity by sending a small percentage of us to Mars just in case Earth blows up. I mean, I keep going, buddy. Do what you got to do.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Space is cool.
Yeah, I don't know about
Electric
the
cars.
whole X thing, but it's all right.
I wasn't on Twitter anyway. I don't care.
Well, see, you know how I promo, dude. I stopped. I was one of those guys that I was like, I got to be on everything. I got to do that. It's like,
I think he probably just bought it because there was an account that kept popping up that was tracking his jet.
oh, it was probably the government through Twitter. Oh, well,
I mean, there was that thing that was like, I mean, would you spend, if you have the money, would you spend $43 billion to make sure somebody doesn't come assassinate you?
Of course. 100%. Yeah. Dude,
That's
I know.
That's my Twitter conspiracy theories.
Well, there's lots of crazy conspiracy theories that end up being true, and then that kind of adds to my whole descent. Dude, I'm turning into a revolutionary. I try really hard to. I just think if you're gonna be free, you need to be free. You know what I mean? That's all. It's like, and the government does dumb shit like, hey, all the states are legalizing weed. Maybe we should get marijuana off Schedule 1 drugs. Simple signing paper, whatever. Yeah. It's just dumb stuff like that. It's like
you would think so.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just we're coming to I don't know. I feel like these next couple years are going to be really important for America. Like whatever happens in the election, whatever. I think if we don't get somebody that wins by a landslide, it's gonna be bad. You know what I mean? I think we need somebody to win big.
Yeah. Because
if that happens, then nobody's gonna be like, oh, okay, because everybody will have voted for that person. I don't know. That's just my theory. It's like I told Shannon, I said, okay, so if it comes down to Trump and Biden, I said we're gonna probably start making plans. Get the fuck out of here.
Moving to Australia.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't move to Australia.
Man, wouldn't it be cool to have like a good option?
Yes. Well, I think we'll know if it's time to start maybe making some changes. You know what I mean?
Man, I just play guitar.
Yeah. Usually the musicians, you'll be all right. Like, oh, I'm just sitting here playing guitar, man. Oh, all right, keep playing. Like the guys that went down with the Titanic, like, hey, we're going down. He's
just playing guitar, man.
Dude, you are a very easygoing guy, dude. That is the truth.
I try to be.
Yeah. Dude, even when that night, I didn't know you were mad at me until the next day. Jack told me. Not mad at me. That's the wrong term. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. A little annoyed.
Let everybody do their thing, man.
Yeah. But you really are like way cool, dude. Totally approachable. You've always, if you could, every time I've asked you to do something, you've always done it, man. And
Sure.
Kicked ass, man. He did some great, really good stuff, man, on Blood and Sand. It was really fun doing that record too, man.
Yeah.
And so what do you got? Tell people what you got going on, where you're.
I'm leaving from here to go to the Paola Roots Festival. Then we're playing Independence tonight. Next week we've got birthday show at Knuckleheads. Got,
unfortunately, I won't be able. I'm playing at BB's that night, so
that's badass, man.
Yeah, no, yeah.
BB's
I love BB's.
Right
I love BB's, man. Yeah. It took me forever to get in there. I'm never letting it go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
They are crushing it. Right
yeah.
now. So.
Dude, Jimmy's a great dude, man. I really like him, man.
Yeah.
We get along good because I talk shit, dude.
Yeah.
Jimmy Light didn't mind that.
We're doing the Tin Roof. We're doing
Nice.
an acoustic thing at the Warwick, which would be cool. I like recording. I think it's important for at least doing what I'm doing right now. It's important to have your own stuff.
Yeah.
It's important
Damn
to,
straight.
to have stuff that you're proud of.
For sure.
And it right now the way that it's all set up is that fuels the live show.
Yeah.
In bookings.
Well, it's like I was telling Shannon, I was like, really the only person I'm kind of competitive with is like, if Howard puts an album out, I gotta freaking put something out. I just got to.
Cool. Yeah, man. Like I like recording, and I like the process of going through all of that. And
how do you? I'm curious. I'm a little curious because I've been one of the people, and I'm gonna have to stop doing this because I end up spending way too much money. But I like just
it costs
throwing
twice as much as what you think it's going to cost.
Oh yeah, every time.
Yeah.
But I always just get everybody there, and then it just goes. How are you come and rehearsed, or are you writing
I've done
there?
it different ways. So
Yeah.
I think through the process of the last one that we did, I have the luxury of not really being super high profile. So when we did the tracks with Jack and Adam, that was basically the first album and a half. Some of the songs were written, but really hadn't played them live very much, with the exception of a couple. And some of them didn't have verses to them, but kind of just threw together stuff and made basic tracks and recorded on top of it and finished it in studio, and that was fine. But the last one recorded with Jimmy and JoJo, and like we had rehearsals and played them live for a couple months leading up to it because we wanted
people to know what was on it.
Well, we wanted to like test them in front of people. And,
Gotcha.
The arrangements changed pretty dramatically after the first couple times we played them because we're like, well, that sounds cool in the basement, but that's not going to land.
Gotcha.
And that was fun, and I think that to a degree, there is definitely some sort of magic of like recording it when it's created, as opposed to when it's rehearsed. But there's also, I think, a fun benefit of like having something that you've polished,
right,
and what that thing is, and then capturing like a really good recording of that.
Yes, I totally understand. I'm doing like I did that live thing that I released in February, and then I did the a couple singles that I've released. But for the album I'm doing it differently this time, and mostly it was because I lost these gigs that I was counting on to pay for it. You know what I mean? Like they had some kind of embezzlement thing go on at Hooters or whatever, and I had landed this contract thing where I was gonna have these, and they were paid well, and then they fell through, and so I'm doing it a little differently. I got all the bones recorded down there, and then I'm gonna finish it all and do kind of my own little, how I like to do so it'll be different, but it'll be cool. But I know it's a catharsis for me, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Recording and writing. I know it is for you too, because of what you write about. I think it's kind of
and it's I'm in a happier place at the moment than.
Well, you got a new lady friend.
Yeah,
right?
and it's
and she's a musician.
Yeah, and it's going well, and
good, man.
So kind of conceptualizing writing from a place that, because it's real easy just to kind of, it's not real easy, but it's when the source material is immediately available and inescapable.
Yeah.
On a daily life, like it's good to get that out.
You need to get Sean in the studio, man.
I've told him.
Yeah, dude, he needs to be.
He really does. So yeah, we're working. I got a couple songs. Like I like coming up with the concept of an album, because even if it's just for me.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Yeah, stick to it, man. It's a good model.
There's definitely a couple songs that I've written that don't have a home, and they need to.
Sure.
But I like them, so they need to go somewhere, and so.
Right. But you don't want to force them. Let them.
I don't want to stick them on,
Right.
albums.
Just
And
put it
especially,
there.
the cool thing about an album is, I've written stuff in a lot of the two albums that I have. There's a lot of more low key stuff on it that isn't necessarily like kind of what the band does live, but like that exists in a different space.
Sure.
Have
Have you ever thought about doing an acoustic record?
Yeah.
That'd be fun, man.
Yeah.
If you ever do one, man, right, give me a part, man.
I really like, and there's a lot of acoustic guitar on stuff that I've recorded, and I like it because it's stuff that's, if I were going to go to a concert, maybe I wouldn't go listen to that, but
Right.
in the truck, like that's more the
Your
vibe.
dashboard confessionals, your jam in the truck.
Man, I mean, like I don't necessarily want to be jamming at home all the time to
I got you.
bangers,
I got
so
you. You're a man of diversity.
I just try to make an album that I want to listen to, and then put on a live show that I'd want to see.
Do you like listening to yourself? Because every time, it doesn't matter when I record vocals, people will be like, "Oh, it sounds fun," and I'll be like, "It sounds
like." I listen back, and I'm glad that I've worked on singing a lot,
dude.
The last few years,
dude. I think your singing's fine, man. It's good.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah,
and it's not for lack of.
I don't think you're trying to force it out anymore. I think you've learned to.
I mean, when we did Time to Go, like I didn't know what I was doing. I took some vocal lessons and worked on it and sang 600 gigs.
Dude, and it's working, man. Everything you're doing is awesome, dude.
Well,
I'm telling you, man.
I mean, I like listening. There's stuff on Lost and Found that like I go back and I listen to it, and like I'm just super happy about it. There's stuff on Marigold that like I listen to and I'm super happy with it.
Yep.
I don't jam to myself all the time.
No, I got you. Dude, if any artist tells you they don't listen to themselves, they're full of shit.
Well,
I listen. I know I'm the same way. It's not like I rock my jams everywhere I go. No, but it's encouraging to me sometimes to go back and hear the progression.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of songwriting things that I've heard that I've really liked, which is write stuff that you haven't heard before that you'd want to hear.
Yeah, totally.
So if that's that's stuff that I'd want to hear.
Yeah, dude, it's good shit, man.
It
is.
I like it,
dude. I wouldn't put it on my playlist if I didn't like it, dude.
Yeah, and thank you.
I don't just put anybody on there just because you're in Kansas City. It's like
Well, the other the other side of that too is like there's a phrase of like every song really could be your best song.
Yep.
Like there's no reason to think of.
Yeah.
Like every
time I'm recording a song, I'm always like, this is gonna be the best song.
Yeah, and and I had a guitar teacher when I was younger be like, if you're trying to write something and you don't think it's the coolest thing,
right? It's probably not.
Nobody else is gonna think.
Yeah,
it's
nobody else
thing
is gonna think
either.
it's cool. Yeah.
So.
For sure, man. For sure, dude. Like
there's still parts on what's that song called?
You see, yeah. I don't feel so bad now, man.
Well, we barely play it. I play it live if I do solo stuff sometimes, but a song called "Something We'll Never Find" and just the arrangement on it and all the parts are like.
I like the music you write, dude.
It's Spotify would say that nobody likes that song, but I really like that song. So.
Hey, dude, Spotify, dude. Like they get paid. They make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars on the backs of artists' hard work.
If you go in and you look at stuff and you look at kind of the stats on what's like my most played song out of everything is this. It's called "Searching for Inspiration."
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a good song, dude.
Well, I understand that.
It's a good song.
I like it. I know where it came from. I was like, this is gonna be cool.
It's a very good song.
Put a bunch of cool percussion stuff on it, but we really don't play it live very often.
There's very few.
It's a very long song with a very weird solo in it by design.
But think about what is happening in the world today. Like, this is why I'm doing a podcast. Like, everything is kind of turning long form now. It's like, well, what they said about our attention spans is not true, and we're kind of getting tired of 30-second sound bites. We want to understand what's going on. Like, we're not that stupid. You can tell us there's aliens. We already know they're here. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
those are cool, man.
yeah, no kidding. I'm always like, come on down, guys. Dude.
I'm pretty sure Recob's an alien.
Yeah,
But that's
dude. His brothers are from the Pallades, man. Watch the podcast, dude. He'll tell you all about it, man. I gotta get him back on here. So we got like another 6-7 hours to do. You know how Recob, dude. No.
Oh yeah.
He watches too, man. Too.
Beautiful human
He's
being.
such. Oh my God, yes, he is, and he's so encouraging, and he's like, you can't, Funk 49 is one of the funniest inside jokes of my entire life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just it's like,
I mean, if you're looking for proof of like musical spirituality, like,
yep, there you go.
that's
He's
a
mad.
conduit, man.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
See? And that's why his hair is like, wow. He's so he's got
That's
so
just
much
fashion, man.
yeah, he's got so much energy running through him. But yeah, dude, totally, man. So, well, man, I really appreciate you coming and being on the podcast,
I
dude.
appreciate you having me.
Yeah, dude, like this has been kind of this fun little endeavor. I can't remember what Tilney said. I was saying something like this. He's like, "Well, it's because you're a motivated guy, man." I was like, "Well, I got to do something." You know what I mean? I just can't sit around and and I'd like to do something that helps people. And I know it helps people to like hear from their art. The fans that hear from people that they
Yeah.
like, and to see that we go through the same kind of shit that everybody else goes through. And
Sure.
and so I really appreciate it, man.
And, hopefully if anybody's listening and they're like, yeah, he writes all these sad songs that are like low key on the albums. I know.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, they're my songs. Yeah.
But I mean, the live show's different.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's a different space, it's a different attitude, it's a different thing. So
Dude, Howard's live shows are always loud, always in your face, and always badass. No, I mean that in the best way possible.
I mean, it's not background music, but it's not painful.
no, not at all.
Painful.
No, it's not painful. I didn't mean it to come across like that.
No. Look, so it's like, I have some level in certain places of a reputation of being loud. Not that loud.
Well, you're pretty.
I have been in my life, but it's not that. It's not that loud.
One of my favorite video clips of you I ever got was as the Gospel Lounge, and I was right behind you when you
That was
were
loud.
kicking on, and I was like, and I got the whole kick on of you doing it.
Yeah.
It's just cool shit, and you do your little kind of John Mayer riff that you got. I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about. It's one of your openers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of got that. It's got the touch, the JM touch, man.
Sure.
You know what I mean. You're a Mayer fan, just like me.
I respect a lot of. I don't know.
You don't know about fan?
I would say I have a really strong appreciation for some aspects of
I got you.
what he is and what he's done.
So your Body is a Wonderland is not the favorite.
That's not my jam, man.
That's not the acoustic tune you're listening to on your way out of here.
No, but I mean, I like Born and Raised.
Oh, great album. Man.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
great song.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff on Paradise Valley, some of the stuff on, there's like honestly, there's like 3 songs on Continuum that I really like. And
See, that's
it's like,
my favorite album.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Like I like everything on that album, man.
I mean, you've got waiting on the world to change. Gravity's growing on me. Like it wasn't my favorite song at first, and then
The one I do all the
Belief
time.
is awesome, and yeah.
See, I can't remember the name of it right now for some reason. I do it
Cool
every day.
chord with the auto-
yeah, I do.
I mean, I like the fact that he's like a gear nerd, and I like the fact that he's
Burning Room is one of my favorite ones too.
Yeah.
We did that in Knuckleheads. Remember at my show, our
Mhm.
show. That was fun.
Yeah, dude.
All right, man. He's a busy man. I got to get him out of here, but
I'm gonna go. Hopefully, not get rained on in Paola, Kansas.
yeah, I hope not either,
that
man.
would be.
And
awesome.
Dio's gonna be sad that you're leaving, man.
I'll be sad that Dio's not coming. It's mutual.
Man, thanks for coming, dude.
Yeah.